Located 2 hours west of Denver, Colorado, on Interstate 70, nestled in a valley formed by the confluence of the Colorado and the Roaring Fork rivers, is the high mountain town of Glenwood Springs, Colorado. For centuries before any signs of Western settlers could be seen, the Ute Indians inhabited this area that they named Yampa, which means big medicine, referring to the belief that the vapors and sulfur of the springs and caverns would cure whatever ailed the body. While in this place of healing, the Ute Indians called for peace with all other tribes in the area. Although discovered in 1860 by a government geologist, Captain Richard Sopris, the first permanent settlement wasn't made until 1879 by James Landis, who first named the town Defiance. It wasn't until 1885 that the town was renamed as Glenwood Springs after the town of Glenwood, Iowa. In 1886, the hot springs and surrounding 10 acres were bought by the Devereaux brothers along with a group of British investors with the intentions of creating the world's largest hot springs resort. The Hotel Colorado was completed in June of 1893, instantly becoming a place to see and be seen. One of its earliest visitors was President Teddy Roosevelt during his famous bear hunt in 1905. The hotel still stands today in all its early elegance and beauty as a National Historical Landmark. Over the last century, Glenwood Springs has grown into a booming tourist town as the home to the world's largest natural hot springs pool, the Glenwood Caverns and Fairy Caves, and a history dating back to the days of the Old West. In the center of town, pulling into the Glenwood Springs train station, is the California Zephyr, Amtrak's Silver Bullet Superliner. There are daily routes running west to San Francisco and east to Chicago. The Glenwood Railroad Museum is also housed in the station. A short walk to the main strip will bring you to shopping enjoyment for the whole family. For cyclists, you can ride on some of the paved trails that run alongside the rivers. If you like lots of people and good music, then plan on coming to town for the jazz festivals throughout the summer. In the winter, take the family ice skating or skiing on the local hills. If you feel like a bit of a hike but don't want to get too far out of town, Doc Holliday's final resting place is a quick half-mile hike up to a beautiful old cemetery overlooking the entire town.
Well, located in the high Rocky Mountains in Colorado, above the town of Glenwood Springs, it's quite a hike up the hillside if you want to make it. But here lies the body of John Henry Holliday. Probably not well known by that name till I tell you what he was really known as. That was the infamous Doc Holliday. Up above Glenwood Springs is his final resting place. He came to the Glenwood Springs area both notorious as a gambler, as a dentist, as a gunfighter, also sometimes was known as a not very nice guy. But, as everybody remembers from the shootout at the OK Corral, the Wyatt Earp, the Wild West days, Doc Holliday suffered from tuberculosis. Those days it was called consumption. He came here because of the healing waters of the hot springs, supposedly because it was going to help him with his breathing problems. The unfortunate part is it didn't help him very long. He still died. But, like I said, if you want to bring your hiking boots, it's about a half, 3/4 of a mile, almost straight up. You can see the memorial where people have left coins, people have left flowers. The infamous Doc Holliday. This is his final resting place. Hey, I don't care how good of a guy Doc Holliday may have been to the local townspeople, and when he worked here, everybody did love him. This is a steep climb. I wouldn't carry his dead butt up here. Well, the thing about being a notorious gunfighter and gambler in the days of the Old West is that oftentimes you were lucky if you could dodge a bullet. Doc Holliday did dodge that bullet, but ended up dying of consumption or that tuberculosis, wasting away to almost nothing. He died at 36 years old. Well, we're back to civilization. Now we know why they put the ski poles down here at the trailhead. If you don't grab one on the way up, you're foolish because it is a pretty steep climb. We've seen enough now of the final resting place for Doc Holliday. Let's check out some of the other things in Glenwood Springs, including the therapeutic hot pools that brought him here for therapy. Well, part of the beauty of being in Colorado is the great diversity that we have here. Everything from the high mountains to the open plains, and we're actually pretty famous for some hot springs. Joining me is Shell Mitchell, who is the general manager here at, guess what, the Glenwood Hot Springs, which I am told is the largest hot springs pool in the world. Shell, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Tell us a little bit about the history of the Glenwood Hot Springs. How long have they been around?
Sure, thank you. The hot springs have been around for quite some time. The Ute Indians first discovered the hot springs in the 1800s. They called this place Big Medicine, or in Ute terms, Yampa. And we were one of the first spas in the world. We've historically had a rich history. The natatorium was built in the 1880s, and we have, as you say, the largest hot springs in the world. We are a year-round resort offering everything from accommodations to relaxation.
And good massage therapies to come along with this. I see it looks like there's some pretty good facilities inside.
We have a full-service athletic club. We have a member base of about 1,000 members, but the public is welcome. We service everything from racquetball courts to exercise equipment, and we offer massage as well.
Tell us about the history of this from the point of after the Ute Indians. Doc Holliday came here for the therapeutic value of your hot mineral springs, didn't he?